it sounds like you can triangulate and see if a person is current with their business, because like this has always been a topic for me. I think like as a salesperson in SaaS, one of the best leads that you can ever find is one of your customers who went to a new company. But like this has been even kind of it's been, I mean, it's extreme right now in the situation we're in. It's like, who knows, like 30% of your database might have just turned over. So do you have any sort of service where I could submit you a list of my contacts or leads or whatever and say, hey, are these people still with this company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the answer is yes. We have a few different ways to solve that problem. So just logistically, we have a professional services team. So if you submitted a list to us, we would have our professional services team analyze the list and clean it up and send it back to you with whatever the current information is that we have about those contacts. We also have a product called Data Integrity that can run on your CRM and just identify on an ongoing basis when we have updated information about contacts or we know that they've moved to another company. And then we also have APIs that can prompt you proactively when data that you're tracking has changed. But how we know that information is that's really the secret sauce, because a lot of people use LinkedIn. We do, it's just a great standard of professional connections. But in a time like this, where a lot of people aren't at their company anymore, but they haven't updated their LinkedIn profile, or if you're an executive at a company, you probably don't really spend time even outside of a pandemic updating your LinkedIn profile. We have to figure out other ways. We don't scrape LinkedIn at all. So we have to find other ways to know that somebody is not at that company. And so we're monitoring companies that are announcing layoffs, and then we're looking at our database compared to what we're seeing in the news. And when we do identify that people have moved to the other company, then we can go ahead and sometimes we know that they're just not there anymore, but they haven't landed someplace. So we show them in our database as a past employment at the previous company. And then as soon as we track them to where they currently are, then we will update their current employment. And we use the ID system. I was just going to say, so we track an employer ID for every person in our database and an executive ID. The executive ID is sort of like your social security number. It follows you everywhere you go from company to company. The employment ID is assigned to you when you're at a specific company.
That's super valuable. It's a rare combination of both enrichment as well as I call it like monitor or refresh, whatever you phrase it. But that's a super powerful feature. Now,